though. They my bestie. She's my bestie. That's my bestie. Your pair of eyes had me paralyzed. Toxic nigga, but you made me to a better guy. Smoke, but with you on forever, ever high. Could watch you all day, girl, like you televised. They think like this nigga, they ain't never lied. I lived the beaches alone, I had to pick a side. Look in your eyes, girl, you were hypnotized. Of course it was your breasts, hips, and them damn thighs. Close my eyes, I'm still mesmerized. Trying to get mad at my bestie, I tried. That's my bestie, my pretty.
I heard she's the one, she's got it going on. That's my pretty ass baby, yeah. She don't take no mess, my bestie is the best. That's my pretty ass baby, yeah. I heard she's the one, she's got it going on. That's my pretty ass baby.
Hey, what's up? Putting tries on me, pretty see. What's up, everybody? So I'm back with Karen Read. Day 21. Sergeant Buchanan is still in the stand, and they introduced an inverted video. So yeah, we shall see what comes of it. What may happen. Also, I believe, I can't remember on if this day, who else testified? I think Sergeant Burroughs may have testified today. I'm not sure, but we'll get to it anyways. All right.
Could I see counsel at sidebar about a couple of things, please?
Oh, Lord. See? Her in the sidebar. Also, Karen Read has a jury, but they're going for 2 more on Monday.
All persons have any business before you on Family Cannoli, Justice of the Norfolk Superior Court, give a copy of the order. Join in, give your attendance, and shall be heard by the state of Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Court is now open. Meeting.
22117, the Commonwealth versus Karen Read. Can I have the witness, please?
So, good morning again, counsel and Ms. Reed. Good morning, jurors. We appreciate your patience. Giving us this time actually helps streamline things for us, so we appreciate that. I do have to ask you those 3 questions. Are you all able to follow the instructions and refrain from doing any independent research or investigation into this case? Are you also able to follow
I know
the
I'm going to have to
instructions
switch it during this, whatever.
Did anyone happen to see, hear, or read anything about this case since we left yesterday? No. Thank you very much. Everybody answered those questions appropriately. Okay, can we have Sergeant Buchanan, please?
You solemnly swear to the court and jury in the case down here, should the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lally, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Circle back just to a couple things from your testimony from yesterday. Going back to the video that you reviewed from both C.F. McCarthy's and the waterfall. In total, from those 2 videos, how many drinks did you observe the defendant consuming over her time?
The video shows 9 drinks being consumed by the defendant.
And that's
No, it doesn't.
C.F. McCarthy's until the time that she leaves the waterfall.
Gaslighter.
That is correct.
If I could turn your attention to the ring videos from One Meadows Avenue, Mr. O'Keefe's residence. From the videos that you observed, let me ask you first, as far as, do you know how those cameras work as far as when they turn on and when they turn off?
My understanding is that ring surveillance video is triggered to be recorded through motion. So if the camera detects motion, which is constantly live monitoring, and motion is detected, then that video is captured to a cloud-based system that retains that footage.
And from your review of those videos, what kind of motion would set those off? Like what kind of things would be recorded from the driveway camera?
Be activity in the driveway, such as a person walking through, bird landing, a vehicle pulling in, individuals, moving around in the
Sometimes it can miss it.
driveway, and so forth.
The search warrant that was applied for was any and all videos between January 24th and January 30th, correct?
For one,
Trooper Proctor erased videos and then blamed it on Karen Read. But they'll come out. Let me just.
the search was, that's correct, yes.
And with respect to that time frame, what, if any, activity based on information that you had received was not available or was not shown on those Ring videos?
The data returned had video that would have been captured from the defendant arriving home after midnight on the 29th, after she dropped Mr. O'Keefe off at 34 Fairview Road. That video was not present in the data that was returned from Ring.
What, if any, other video in addition to that one was not present?
There was also video missing from the defendant showing Ms. McCabe, and
The reason why the video is missing is because, yeah, you don't want to, you don't want to expose that you're full of shit.
Ms. Roberts, the damage to her right rear taillight.
And what, if any, follow-up, or what, if any, inquiry was?
But it shows them coming back. There's no reason why she would delete that. But okay.
And done with regard to Ring as far
She
as
probably didn't show them.
those types of videos,
probably
or
just
deletion, or
told
how those videos could not be present?
Correspondence with Ring produced information that
Sustain.
Let me ask this first. Was there follow-up with Ring in regard to those videos?
yes, there was.
And was there ever anything produced with regard to those videos or those time frames from Ring?
No, there was not.
If I could turn your attention over to your time in Dyke, just in reference to subsequent to that later on.
Okay, and the whole Karen Read show in the taillight, it shows them going in. It also shows them coming out. So when did she show Jen McCabe and Carrie Roberts her taillight? When? Because I seen like she gestured that way, but that was about it. That wasn't like, hey, look here. You are such a gaslighter.
What, if anything, did you receive, or what, if anything, did you request, what, if anything, did you receive from the Dayton Police in regard to January 29, 2020?
I communicated with the Dayton Police Department.
If everybody could please hit the like, share the live, subscribe if you haven't. I'm on the road to 1K. I will get to 1K. I will get to 1K. And I appreciate everybody last night. I had about 500 views, so it was pretty good last night. All right. Let me stop being a stopper.
Department requesting documentation from their officers' calls for service at our request, and log notes, logs from their dispatching center, as well as any reports that would document their activity if such reports existed.
And did you, what, if any, information did you receive in relation to that?
I received a log note or log printout from the CAD system, and I received a report authored by Officer Barrows.
And did you also receive any 911 calls?
Yes,
And who was the party as far as the 911 caller in regard to those 911 calls that you received?
it was Mr. Reed.
And again, just for clarity purposes, that's the defendant's father, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that's on the morning of January 29th, is that also correct?
Correct.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention to February 3rd, 2022. At some point, that
Where are these CAD reports? Where are the CAD reports? And why didn't you let the 911 call play? If there was a 911 call. Huh? We missing that too? Or are you gaslighting there?
morning, where did you go?
During the morning hours of February 3rd, we plan to meet at 34 Fairview Road. Myself, Trooper Proctor, and Trooper Pacheco arrived at that location in order to conduct a secondary search of the area as the temperatures were turning and the snow was melting naturally. We decided to do another search for articles that were now, we realized and learned, were missing and could be of evidentiary value and aid in the, in the investigation.
And with respect to going to 34 Fairview Road, what, if any, tools or what, if anything, did you bring with you, you and the other troopers, in regard to conducting that secondary search?
I requested the troopers bring shovels, rakes, anything like gardening items that would help them to dig through the snow and locate any missing items.
And as far as the temperature change that you're talking about, how precipitous a change are we talking about?
The temperatures went above freezing, so the snow did begin to melt, and it was significantly warmer compared to the 18 degrees the night of the incident.
Now, you mentioned items of evidentiary value that you had learned of and were looking for. What, if any, clothing items, Mr. O'Keefe, were you looking for specifically on February 3rd?
We were specifically looking for Mr. O'Keefe's baseball cap.
And in addition to yourself, Trooper Proctor and Trooper DeChico, who, if anyone else, did you notify? Who, if anyone from any other unit within the state police responded that day as well?
We requested the assistance of the Crime Scene Services section of the Massachusetts State Police, and Trooper Evan Brent showed up to assist us with documentation of the location and the evidence that we were hopefully going to find.
And from those, Trooper Brent arrived and took photographs, is that correct?
That's correct.
And when was it that Trooper Brent arrived in relation to your arrival?
I believe he was already present when we pulled up, but I'm not sure to his exact time of arrival.
And with regard to that day, what, if anything, in general terms, what, if anything, were you able to locate and where was it, generally speaking?
We located Mr. O'Keefe's baseball hat. We located a drinking straw from a cocktail glass. We located items of plastic, colored plastic, and other shards of colored plastic at the location. All those items were located on the grass portion of the yard near the flagpole at 34 Fairview Road.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
You know, evidence just doesn't just, you know, stay right in one place, right?
Your Honor, may I have a moment?
Anyway.
And Sergeant, I'm going to show you a series of photos, but I'm going to break this up a little bit.
So, Mr. Lally, with your back to the jurors and the air conditioning on, I'm sure they can't hear you.
My apologies. So, sir, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some photographs, a series of them, but I'm going to break them up a little bit just to make it
Okay, sir.
hopefully quicker. So first I'm going to show you 10 photographs. Ask if you could review those, look up when you're finished.
Hit the like, share the like, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you recognize those, sir?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
Those are photographs documented the items located at 34 Fairview Road on the grass as the snow receded through the melting temperatures that were revealed to be positioned in the grass.
And what's contained in those photographs, is that a fair and accurate portrayal of what you observed on the front lawn area of 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm about to see if you can do some minutes next.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
No objection.
Okay. Thank you.
And Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could just ask to publish some of these photos.
Yes.
Just one moment, Your Honor.
Sure.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could start with photograph 7659. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen, what's now marked as bid 468?
I do.
And if you could, just for orientation purposes, describe the jury whereabouts in relation to 34 Fairview Road we are in this picture.
As standing on the street at Fairview Road, we're looking at the left side of the yard. In the top right corner, you can tell that there is a flagpole depicted in that photograph and a telephone switch box that's open on the left side. which is on the border of 34 Fairview Road.
If I can ask from this photograph, if you know, grass that's visible on the front lawn area of 34 Fairview Road, is that from a natural melting process, or is that from some tools that you and your trooper brought to assist you in your secondary?
The reason that grass is exposed is due to processing of the scene and having the snow being moved away from the location, and then natural melting process taking place on top of it. As you can tell, other portions of the yard is covered in snow, and the snow had not, the grass has not revealed itself just yet.
Now, as far as the photographs of various items that were located on this date, February 3rd, the photographs that were taken were
Hey, Triple Darkness, I haven't seen you forever. Sir, does everything reveal itself? Taillight pieces, whatnot, you know? Does everything reveal itself? That's just my question. That's my question to you. Mr. Cop, Mr. Officer, Mr. I like framing people. Does everything reveal itself, or does it magically get put there? Because I'm not convinced.
they taken as they lay, or were they touched or manipulated in any way prior to the photograph being taken?
The items photographed were discovered as soon as we realized what is being discovered through the digging and excavation process. They were then photographed instantly. Certain items were revealed naturally through the melting process and the snow, no longer concealing those items underneath.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, can I photograph 7666? Again, sir, do you recognize what's up on the screen? It's now been marked as Exhibit 470.
I do.
What do you recognize that?
That is a clear black and red piece of plastic.
And Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7669.
A clear black and red piece that
Sorry,
doesn't look like it's been there for days.
Yes, that is another piece of plastic.
And sort of towards the top middle of the screen, do you recognize what that is?
Yes, that's a fire hydrant from 34 Fairview Road, grass area.
Ms. Gilman, if I can have the next photograph, 4670. For the record, this is Exhibit 474.
It's just sitting there.
Yes, sir.
It's not in snow or anything.
Yes, it is.
Like, you could have made it look a little less suspicious.
Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7672. And sir, you recognize what's up on the screen, which has now been marked as Exhibit 476.
I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
Another piece of red taillight plastic.
And lastly, from dispatch, Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7673. Again, sir, do you recognize what's up on the screen, depicted in what's now marked as Exhibit 477?
I do.
And what do you recognize that?
That is the fire hydrant and the telephone switch box located on the edge of the property line at 34 Fairview Road.
Now, the photographs that I had just placed before you
That
haven't
looks
had a
like
chance
the
to review
same
those.
fucking
I have.
photograph.
Do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
And what do you recognize those?
The property at 34 Fairview Road, left corner towards the street, capturing the flagpole and the telephone switch box.
And Coach John,
Yes.
call multi to introduce and admit the next 10 exhibits.
Okay.
Ejection cumulative.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with your permission, if I can publish a few of the photos from this set.
Okay.
Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7681. Sergeant, you recognize what's up on the screen. It has now been marked as Exhibit 481.
I do.
If you could describe to the jury what's depicted in this photograph.
A red piece of plastic.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have the next one, 760.
Can you use the pointer to show us where that is, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Gilman, 7682. And And Sergeant, do you recognize what's depicted on screen and is now being marked as Exhibit 482?
I do.
You know, I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for just a minute, please.
Even the judge doesn't want to look at all those. Even the judge don't want to look at all those.
You are unmuted.
I'm sorry, Ms. Gilman, 7682.
Just
Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen as Exhibit 482?
I do.
What do you recognize that to be? Is
A red piece of plastic.
that the same piece of plastic that close-up image from the prior exhibit?
Yes, it is.
Can you just
And
show
the
the
gentleman
close
might
up
have,
and not the
photograph
far away
7684.
picture? Leave the far away pictures for the jury.
Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen and is now marked as Exhibit 484?
I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
A white clear piece of plastic and a red piece of plastic.
And lastly, from this, sir, Ms. Gilman, if I get a 7687. So again, do you recognize
They
what's up on the
missed
screen?
all
So
this
it's now been
the
marked as
day
Exhibit
of.
487.
I do.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the photos before you, have you had a chance to review that set of 10 as well?
Not this one yet, not yet.
If you could, please. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
I do.
What do you recognize those to be?
Items that were located in the street, being the black cocktail drinking straw, and then black pieces of plastic, molding plastic, and clear pieces and molding from taillight.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Almost 60 introduce and the next one.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could display some of these photographs for the jury.
Okay.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7688. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen?
I do.
What do you recognize as being?
It's the wide shot of the drinking straw being found on the edge of the roadway in front of 34 Fair Road.
Sergeant, if you could, using the laser pointer before you, if you could direct the jury's attention to where you observed that straw.
What's funny is I do.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have
Well, thank you.
7689.
If I wanted
Sorry, what are we
to,
looking at?
I'd ask people.
It's a close-up view of the same straw.
I'm happy with who I am. Even if you're not.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7692. And Sergeant, do you recognize what's up on the screen? It's now been marked as Exhibit 492.
I do.
And what are we looking at 492?
Piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler that's provided for comparison and by the crime scene
Oh,
photographer.
you only use a
document the item.
ruler on one
And
freaking
Ms. Gilman, if I could have
piece. dude.
7695. For the record, this is now Exhibit 494. Sergeant, what are we looking at in 494?
It's the same item from just prior, just zoomed in more, showing the detail, the black molding, the clear clear plastic, and red plastic.
Sergeant, as far as those
Anyways.
photographs before you, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what those are?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize those?
They're pieces of red plastic, pieces of clear plastic, and a piece of glass.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm about to seek to introduce the next exhibit.
No objection. Thank you. Exhibit 498, 508.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, with the court's permission, if I could publish just a few of these photographs for the jury as well.
Okay.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7700. For the record, this is now Exhibit 498. Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
We're looking at a red piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler on the edge of the grass on the property of 34 Fairview Road by the road.
And if you could, sir, using that laser pointer, just direct the jury's attention to where you observe that item being in this photograph.
Right there.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7705. And for the record, this is Exhibit 502. And Sergeant, if you could, again, describe to the jury what, if anything, of significance you know in there.
It's a shard of red plastic next to a measuring ruler.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7708. For the record, this is now Exhibit 504. Again, Sergeant, if you could, using a laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance you know in this area.
There is a black piece of plastic molding next to a measuring ruler.
And lastly, from this set, Ms. Gilman, exhibit photo number 7712. Again, for the record, this is Exhibit 508. Again, Sergeant, if you could, using the laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance you know in this.
A clear piece of plastic next to a measuring ruler.
That's found on the grass area as well, is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to that new set of photos before you, have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what's contained within those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that those photographs to contain?
They contain small red pieces of plastic from 34 Fairview Road on the grass area where we located the others. Also contain a flimsy piece of circular, like very malleable plastic, clear plastic, in addition to that.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Come on, please introduce you in the next. Can I get
No
a-
objection. Thank you.
That don't even belong in the crime scene. So you were just picking up anything. Besides the tail light that you fucking broke.
Thank you. And Your Honor, may I publish some of these photos to the jury?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7715. For the record, this is now Exhibit 511. Sergeant, direct your attention to the screen if you could, using that laser pointer, direct the jury's attention to what, if anything, of significance you observe in this photograph.
That is the thin, malleable, circular in shape, a piece of clear plastic that was located in the lawn area of 34 Fairview Road.
Now, lastly, Sergeant, there's that set of photos that I just placed before you. Have you had a chance to review those?
Yes, I have.
And do you recognize what's depicted in those photographs?
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize those to be?
There are items. Those items are covered in the lawn at 34 Fairview Road. Those items are a shard of glass, a BPD baseball hat with an American flag, and stains of blood.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm going to introduce you in the next 16 minutes. Sorry.
No objection.
5 what? At the end? Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Your Honor, with the court's, sorry. Your Honor, with the court's permission, may I publish some of these photos for the jury as well?
Yes.
And Mr. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7727. For the record, this is now exhibit 520. And again, Sergeant, if you could direct your attention to what, if anything, of significance you observed in this photograph.
I observed a shard of glass next to a measuring ruler.
And Mr. Gilman, if I could have 7729. For the record, this is exhibit 522. And again, Sergeant, if you could scrap the jury will look at it.
It's a larger piece of red plastic with black molding around the edge, located next to the telephone switch box on the grass area at 34 Fairview Road.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Gilman, if I could have photograph
See
77.
that in another picture. But did it just reveal
For the record,
itself?
this is exhibit 526. And Sergeant, from this photograph, what, if anything, are we looking at here?
This photograph here depicts the area which we are excavating during the morning hours of February 3rd, 2022. As the shovel works its way towards the grass, my laser pointer is directing your attention to Mr. O'Keefe's hat that was compacted underneath the snow on the ground.
Now, as far as this photograph is concerned, does that accurately depict the depth of the snow that you were digging into and sifting through on the morning of February 3rd?
It does.
And that, again, is several days after the blizzard of January 29th, correct?
That is correct.
And Ms. Gilman, if I can have photograph 7740.
Yeah, you buried it there
For
first.
the record, this is exhibit 530. And again, Sergeant, if you could describe to the jury what we're looking at here.
We're looking at Mr. O'Keefe's hat on the grass, pressed down and compacted to a flat surface underneath the snow, which has been excavated around it.
It's not.
Thank you very much. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down.
Nice try, though.
Sergeant, on
Nice try.
February 3rd, 2022, is that the first time that you had been at 34 Fairview Road?
Thick as fuck.
Yes, it is.
And with respect, if I could turn your attention briefly to the following day of February 4th. Did you have occasion to go back to 34 Fairview Road on that day?
Yes, I did.
And what brought you to 34 Fairview Road on
I
February
don't
4th?
know how she could sit there and not lose her
Having excavated those items on the 3rd, I directed the troopers in my office, who obviously reside in the communities around us, to make a point to travel by that location every day on the way to work and every day on the way home. The purpose of that was to see if anything else was to reveal itself as the snow naturally melts away and items could present themselves. So on the February 4th, as I am traveling to work, I diverted my typical route of travel to go by 34 Fairview Road. Just prior to my arrival, I received a call stating that there was Kent police representatives at the scene, and more items have been revealed due to the melting snow, and that I should come collect those items. I was down the street. I arrived and collected the item that presented itself.
And if you recall, that item that you collected on February 4th, was that located on the lawn, on the street, or something else?
It was on the lawn.
Now, with reference to your collection of these items, either on February 3rd, February 4th, or on any sort of subsequent date, how were they collected, and what exactly did you do with them in reference to the seizing of the items and storage of the items?
Each item that was collected was placed in an evidence paper bag. The collection was done by utilizing latex gloves to prevent any transfer of evidence from fingerprints to DNA onto those items. Then those items were transported to our office, logged into the system, and stored in the evidence lockers at the
I'm
office.
still here.
Each of those respective bags of items or evidence, they were sealed as well, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, turning your attention to February 10th of 2022, did you have occasion to go back to 34 Fairview Road on that day as well?
I did.
And what, if anything, did you observe, or what, if anything, did you seize on that particular day?
We seized more shards of glass and plastic.
And if you know, or if you recall, how many pieces did you seize on that particular day?
My memory is exhausted to that, but the exact numbers annotated in on the bags that the items were placed into.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm showing you documents that look at that section and look up when you're finished. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Sergeant, is your memory refreshed as to how many items or what the items were that you recovered on February 10th?
Yes, it is.
And what were those items and how many, sir?
There was 6 items of clear red and black plastic and 14 items of plastic and glass.
Now, in addition to the dates that you were present at 34 Fairview Road and recovered items, them being February 3rd, February 4th, and February 10th, were there other dates that you're aware of that items were recovered by troopers that you supervised?
Yes.
And if you recall, what were those dates?
The dates were January 29th, February 11th, and February 18th.
Were there items recovered on February 8th as well?
Yes.
Now, as far as your direction or having let me first start with you. So on the dates that you were there, February 3rd, 4th, and 10th, were you alone on those dates, or were there other troopers with you when you were there?
On the 4th, I was alone as far as state police personnel. There were other Canton law enforcement representatives at the scene with me as I collected that one item. On the other days, I was accompanied by other troopers.
And as far as you know, obviously not being present, but from your supervision of these troopers, were there other occasions where individuals were at 34 Fairview Road? Were they alone, or were they with a group of troopers?
Objection.
Sustained.
Now, as far as the items that were recovered when you were there on February 3rd, February 4th, and February 10th, did you have occasion to bring those items with you for today?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
So I'm sending you with a box. First, just ask if you recognize that box.
I do.
And what do you recognize that?
It's a box storing items logged into evidence as they relate to this case.
And Your Honor, with court's permission, may the sergeant open the box?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now, first, Sergeant, with regard to the items as far as plastic and/or glass that you recovered from 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd, if you could locate those items. And Sergeant, with respect to each of those bags, they contain items of evidentiary value, whether they be plastic or glass, that were recovered on February 3rd. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm sorry, how many bags in total do you have there for you?
I have 3 bags, 2 containing broken glass and plastic, and a steering straw, a broken red plastic and clear plastic, and a bag containing 1 black Boston Police Department hat.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce and admit the next 3 exhibits.
No objection.
Okay.
No particular order.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with respect to what's now marked as Exhibit 537, with the court's permission, may the sergeant remove that item, the hat, from the bag and display for the jury.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You can place that back in the bag. Sergeant, from your observations of Mr. O'Keefe on surveillance video from both C.F. McCarthy's and the waterfall on January 29th, what if any similarities did you observe between the hat you just displayed and located on the lawn of 34 Fairview Road and the hat Mr. O'Keefe is wearing in those videos?
It appears to be the same exact hat.
Now, Sergeant, with reference to the box of other items, if you could remove what, if any, items you recovered and seized from 34 Fairview Road on February 4th. And again, sir, just for the record, what's contained within that bag from February 4th?
Contained within the bag is a piece of red, hard plastic taillight cover.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce and admit as the next exhibit.
No objection.
Thank you. Exhibit 538.
And lastly, Sergeant, with regard to the box, if you could remove the items that you seized from February 10th, 2020. And Sergeant, with respect to those 2 bags of items, if you could just inform the jury what is contained within those bags.
Bag labeled item number 10 contains 6 pieces of red, black, and clear plastic. Bag labeled number 11 is containing 14 pieces of glass and plastic fragments.
Thank you, Sergeant. Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce and admit as the next 2 exhibits.
Any objection, Mr. Jackson?
I'm sorry. No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Exhibits 539 and 540.
I'm sorry. Was it 539 and 540?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Moving on from that, if I could bring you back just one last time to Ring videos from One Meadows Ave, as far as you had testified earlier that there was no video that you observed of the defendant, Mr. Cave, and Ms. Roberts looking at the passenger side tail light area of the vehicle, correct?
That's correct.
Was there any video of the defendant, Mr. Cave, and Ms. Roberts actually leaving from One Meadows Ave on that morning of January 29th?
There was not.
Now, as far as the videos that were not there, as far as the defendant, Mr. Cave, and Ms. Roberts leaving, the next video depicted Mr. Camerano arriving at the residence to pick up Ms. Fergus, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And with regard to the missing video of the defendant arriving at One Meadows Ave on January 29th, sometime after midnight, the video immediately preceding that, again, would have been Mr. Camerano arriving and picking up his daughter from One Meadows Ave.
The reason why that video is missing.
Those videos were both present, correct?
That's correct.
The reason why that video is missing is because it fudges with your time constraint. You said this happened at 12:45. She was on John's Wi-Fi at 12:36. That is why you guys say it's missing.
If I could bring you back to February 3rd, 2022. On that date, did you have occasion to meet with a gentleman by the name of Brian Higgins?
Yes, I did.
And when you met with Mr. Higgins, who, if any, one from your office was with you when you met?
Trooper Mike Proctor was from my office present during that interview.
And during the course of that interview, what, if any, documentation did Mr. Higgins provide you with?
Mr. Higgins provided me with a printout of a celebrate extraction containing conversations via text message between him and Mr. John O'Keefe and between him and the defendant. He also provided a digital copy of the same extraction on a CD.
So glad to see
Now,
you.
what, if anything, did you advise Mr. Higgins of at that time as far as Mr. O'Keefe's phone and the defendant's phone?
I advised Mr. Higgins that we were in possession of both of those devices and would have the extraction and accurate documentation of those conversations.
And did he seem to understand that when you told him?
Yes, he understood it.
Objection.
Sustained.
Move to strike.
Strike that, folks.
Especially if they're regular.
Now, also on February 3rd, at some point, did you have occasion
I'm
to
like,
go
where
inside
are they?
34 Fairview
Where'd
Road?
they go?
Yes, I did.
And
Did
who,
I
if
run
anyone,
them
did you
out?
interview inside of 34 Fairview Road on that day?
I interviewed Mrs. Albert.
That would be, just for the record, Nicole Albert, is that correct?
That's correct.
And who, if anyone, was present with you during that interview with Nicole Albert?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor was present with me.
Anybody else from the Albert
You were
family
gonna say
present in the
Mr.
home or
Albert.
present during the course of that interview?
Mr. Brian Albert was also present. I don't know who else exactly was present in the home. I just know that those two residents were in the room with us.
And where was Brian Albert at the time that you conducted the interview with Nicole Albert?
In the room with us, seated next to her.
Now, with reference
See,
to...
now you're not supposed to do that, sir. You're not supposed to conduct interviews with the other person there. That's not how this works. Did you record it? Did you record it? I bet you didn't.
I'm going to ask you just a little bit about sort of the interview process as far as the interviews that you conducted in this case.
Yes.
If you could describe to the jury, starting with sort of how many people from your unit are present for a given interview and how those interviews are conducted.
We conduct interviews always in pairs. I think I mentioned it yesterday. Typically, during a regular investigation into a homicide or any death investigation, we pair up our troopers with a local detective. In this instance, since Canton had recused themselves from interview portion of the investigation, they were not going to provide manpower for those interviews to be conducted. Thus, we had to utilize only troopers from our office in order to conduct those interviews.
And typically, obviously not perfect, but as far as the interviews that you were present for, about how long a period of time,
So breathy,
generally speaking, were the interviews that you conducted in this case?
From my experience, I have learned that to fully communicate a course of recollection of events that an individual observes, experiences, or is aware of, and understand every detail of that experience, it would take approximately 45 minutes at a minimum to conduct a full interview with a witness in detail.
Now, sir, if I could turn your attention to June 9th of 2022. On that date, at some point, did you have occasion
It's usually
to,
recorded,
meet with the
too.
defendant?
Yes, I did.
And at some point during that meeting, did you have conversation with the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And was that conversation, or at least portions of it, memorialized in any way?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Oh, you're really going to play this? You're really going to play this? This makes you look bad. This makes you guys look bad.
I'm showing you a disc. Does that contain an audio recording, to the best of your knowledge? Does that contain an audio recording of a portion of your conversation with Ms. Reed on June 9th, 2022?
Yes, it does.
Madam Mayor, approach.
Yes.
I'm also seeking to introduce and make the next amendment.
All right. No objection, Mr. Jackson? All right, folks, before we play this, again, please be mindful of the instruction from yesterday. So you're about to hear statements allegedly made by the defendant, allegedly concerning the crimes with which she's charged in this case. Before you can consider any such statement as evidence, the Commonwealth must prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant made the statement she's alleged to have made and that she made it voluntarily, freely, and rationally. In determining whether the statement made by the defendant was voluntary or not, you may consider all the surrounding circumstances. These include when and where the statement was
Like,
made,
yes,
the nature
I
of any
made it.
conversations with the
Yes,
police,
I
or any
certainly
questioning
made
by the
that
police, the
statement.
defendant's physical and
I
mental
stand by
condition,
that
including her
statement.
intelligence, age, education, experience, and personality. Your decision does not
Let's
turn upon
go,
any one
Karen.
factor, and you must
Let's
consider
go.
the totality of the surrounding
like-
circumstances.
Nah, you ain't
With
fucking
the court's
me,
permission, the public's
homeboy.
jury at this time.
Yes, you want to turn off the air conditioning? Is this very short, right?
It is very short, and if we could, please, yes.
And this is just audio, correct?
So you're aware he was beaten up by Ryan and Colin Albert? We're all on the same joke, right? My tail ends cracked and John was pulverized.
Sergeant, on hearing that statement from the defendant, what was your reaction?
Objection.
Sustained.
On hearing that statement, what, if anything, did you do?
I advised the defendant.
He said, Brian and Colin beat John up. My taillight is cracked and John was pulverized. We're all in on the same joke, right? You know John was beat up by Brian and Colin Albert, right? Oh, shit. Let's go, Karen.
Not to further speak.
Objection.
I'll allow that.
Now, at some point over the
She's
course of your
wild about
investigation,
that.
were you made aware
Like, yeah,
of forensic
for sure.
findings relating to the defendant's tail,
Yes, I was.
and specifically DNA findings?
Yes.
Yes, she definitely
Specifically that
made
there were,
those statements. Those
Sustained.
are the statements that she made.
Yes, you can turn the air conditioning.
She says, you know, Brian, John was beat up by Brian and Colin Albert. My taillight is cracked and John was pulverized. We're all in on the same joke, right? But that makes them look what? They look like douches. They look like douches. They wanted it in. They wanted it in. They thought that that was an admission. They tried to, you know, they
You are unmuted.
doctor it up so you don't hear.
Madam Beck, have one moment.
Yes.
Shit. Yeah. Yeah, she's biased as. But Karen,
So, Sergeant
yeah,
Buchanan,
go
on January 16th,
Oh, yes.
2024,
I made
at some point in that day, did you
statement.
meet with a Sergeant Gallerani of the Needham Police Department?
I did.
And who, if anyone else, well, let me ask you this. As far as any other troopers from your office, who, if anyone else, was there, yourself and Sergeant Gallerani?
Trooper Mike Proctor.
And what was the purpose of your meeting with Sergeant Gallerani, Trooper Proctor, on that morning?
Collection of our DNA.
And was that something that you did voluntarily?
See, okay, this is a big thing too. They had to give up their DNA samples. Why? Because John's clothes has two other males, two unidentified males' DNA on it, other than his own. So they go and they collect DNA from the damn troopers. Like, okay, were you there that night or something? But don't test it against anybody else. Nobody else. Well, Karen ain't male. She's female. So, catch 22, what the fuck do we do? It just, and he just like, yeah, yeah, we don't mind giving up our DNA, but don't look here. That's going to come up later on. But yeah, this is why they had to give up their DNA.
Yes.
And how was it that the sergeant collected your DNA?
Through a buccal swab?
And were you present when Trooper Proctor submitted to a buccal swab as well?
Yes, I was.
And then as far as the swabbings that were taken from both yourself and Trooper Proctor, were those logged into evidence by you, or did Sergeant Gallerani take them with him when he left?
Sergeant Gallerani took him with it when he left.
Nothing to see there, though.
May I approach?
Yes.
And I don't know why, like, the jury didn't catch on, like, the little subtle things. They expose themselves every time. Like, little subtle things. Oh, are we getting to cross? Oh, this should be good. This is going to be fucking good. This is going to be fucking good. The Sally Port video is going to come up and all sorts of shit. All sorts of shit. And then I got to watch. So I guess we're going to watch day 22 too. This one's a short video. I mean, short day. So we'll just watch the rest of Buchanan's testimony on 22, day 22. Yodi game. Cool. I was mind blown when I first seen this. I was so mind blown. Oh, the second trial is going to be great. It starts Tuesday. It starts Tuesday. They have a jury. They have a fucking jury.
My apologies, Your Honor.
It's okay.
Thank you very much, Sergeant. Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Okay. Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's get ready.
I want to start with one of the latter things that you discussed with Mr. Lally. That's specific to the ring video that y'all talked about this morning. Do you have that in mind?
I do.
He's gonna put
the
it
search
in.
warrant that produced, and just so we're clear, I'm talking about the specific ring video or series of videos that were associated with One Meadows, John O'Keefe's home.
Okay.
Okay. You didn't write the search warrant for those ring videos, did you?
I did not.
You were not the affiant for those search warrants.
I was not.
Who was the author of the search warrant and the affiant?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor.
Who received the actual ring video or videos from the Ring Corporation?
It was Trooper Mike Proctor received it.
And who ultimately either logged those into evidence or controlled those once they were received from the Ring Corporation?
I believe it was Trooper Mike Proctor.
And ultimately, Sergeant Buchnick, you did note that in addition to just the physical videos themselves, that login information and login keystrokes, et cetera, were requested from the Ring Corporation as well, correct?
There was discussion with Ring asking for those logs.
I'll call it, is it correct to say an activity log?
That's what was requested, yes, activity log, yes.
So ultimately, the activity log would show who logs in, who accesses the data, things of that nature, correct? Or at least that was the hope.
That is what was requested.
All right. It would also show logging in and executing deletions, manipulating the log files, things of that nature, correct?
That is what was requested, yes.
When you reviewed those log or activity logs, there was.
See, that's how he gets away, gets away with shit. That's what was requested. That was requested. That was what was requested. I don't know if we received it though, because it's gonna come up that about the other two videos that are miraculously missing. Her returning to One Meadows Ave and Carrie Roberts. Her showing her tail light to Carrie Roberts and whatever. And Jem McCabe. There we go. And those two videos are missing, but just wait till he reads it.
No evidence revealed that my client ever logged into that account, correct?
There was no activity logs provided by Ring.
So you have zero. Hang on.
No activity logs, or maybe because the activity logs were requested and you did receive them and Karen Read didn't pop up on them, that you couldn't, that That would fuck up your case, right? That would fuck up your case. We got skip on it. Wait.
Isn't it true that Ring contacted Trooper Proctor and indicated that they had created a Dropbox folder that contained the evidence that had been sought in the search warrant?
Objection.
Sustained.
Isn't it true that the search warrant return specified account information, video recordings, and number 3, activity logs associated with video recordings for all times displayed in UTC?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Do you recall that activity logs were in fact provided from the Ring Corporation?
I do not recall that, no.
Okay. May I approach briefly?
Yes.
He's gonna show you. He's gonna show you.
Take a look, Sergeant, at that paragraph with my fingers on it, the 3rd paragraph down, in the middle of the page, and review that to yourself and let me know when you're finished.
In your face. Hey, I need you to write down what you want from the store tomorrow. Oh, can you do me a favor? Well, I need you to get on the Walmart app to select your freaking thing. Your spray. Oops. You're good at gaslighting there, Buchanan. Buchanan.
Have you had an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Does this refresh your recollection as to the items received from the Ring Corporation?
That is the first time I saw that document, so it does not refresh my recollection. I simply read it.
So do you have a recollection as you sit here that in fact during the course of your investigation, the 3 items that you received from the Ring Corporation were the account information, the video recordings, and quote, activity logs associated with the video recordings, all times displayed in UTC?
To the extent of its availability, as it says in that document.
Okay. The long and short of it is, during the entire course of your investigation, you never revealed that investigation never revealed any evidence whatsoever that my client ever even accessed the account information for the Ring account associated with this search warrant, correct?
Nothing provided by Ring proved or suggested or proved any evidence of that type of activity, no.
Boom!
Trooper Proctor, you were notified.
I'm not Trooper Proctor.
I'm sorry. No, you're not. Sergeant Buchanan.
Sergeant Buchanan.
How do I say it?
Buchanan.
I'll give that a shot.
It's fine.
Buchanan?
Yes.
Is that better?
That's better. Thank you.
If I screwed up again, please. On January 29th, you were notified about a Boston police officer found gravely injured outside the home of 34 Fairview at about 6:40 in the morning. Was that your testimony?
That is not.
What time were you notified?
I was not notified it was a Boston police officer.
So you didn't have that information upon the first notification?
I did not.
Okay, what information did you have?
There was a male party in the snowbank, possibly of a heart attack.
At what point did you
Wow.
learn that the individual was, in fact, a sworn Boston police officer?
I do not know exactly when I learned that he was a Boston police officer.
I think it was during that day or the following day.
It was
It
most
should
likely
have been
that
that
day.
day, that second, that
Fair enough.
minute.
Trooper Proctor was ultimately assigned as the, what did you call him? Not lead investigator, but case officer?
That's correct.
He was assigned on the 29th, correct?
He was on call from 7 a.m. on January 28th until 7 a.m. on January 29th.
Don't stammer
So his
now.
assignment was, he was assigned on the 29th because he was on call.
He was on call. His assignment took effect when the schedule came out back in
I'm still
mid-December.
here. I'll be in the chat.
Well, he wouldn't be assigned to this investigation.
I hit the like, share,
until there's a
live.
need for the
Thank
investigation,
you.
right? That's all I'm getting to. I mean, once the call came in, he was the assigned case agent.
Once the calls come in, the person that's on call is automatically assigned that case.
All right. Did you personally, as his supervisor, did you personally respond to 34 Fairview at any point on January 29th?
No, I did not.
Did Trooper Proctor, at your direction or on his own, ever respond to 34 Fairview Road at any time on January 29th?
No, he did not.
Based on your initial investigation, and I'm talking about going way back, Sergeant, on your initial investigation, by 10 or 10:30 in the morning, 10:40 in the morning, it was your belief that Mr. O'Keefe had been struck in the face by a person. That was your initial understanding of the circumstances surrounding the investigation, correct?
My initial understanding was that the defendant stated that she hit him. We did not know them.
You hadn't even met my client at that point. You hadn't interviewed a single witness by 10:41 in the morning, correct? Not one witness.
That's not correct. We had already interviewed the first responders.
Okay, when I say witness, I'm talking about civilian witnesses. So 10:41, you hadn't interviewed a person at 34 Fairview or civilians associated with this incident, correct?
At that point, no civilians have been interviewed, no.
But at 10:41, Sergeant, you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital to inform them that, quote, Mr. O'Keefe was struck in the face with a cocktail glass, end quote, correct?
I do not recall contacting Good Samaritan Hospital.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'd like you to take a look at this document, and if you wouldn't mind, pay special attention to the second page, the bottom paragraph where it's tabbed in pink. Yeah, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Having reviewed this, does this refresh your recollection that you contacted Good Samaritan Hospital and gave them assessment, at least based on your investigation at that time?
That is not true.
What did you say to Good Samaritan Hospital?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital. That document is from the medical examiner's office.
I'm not asking you where the document is from. I'm asking you if the document says Trooper Yuri Buchanan called back at 10:41 stating the case is now being treated as a suspicion.
The objection sustained.
Did you call back to Good Samaritan Hospital and say that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious due to a domestic situation? Did you say that?
I never spoke to Good Samaritan Hospital.
Did you say that there's a possibility that D was struck in the face with a cocktail glass?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you ever contact anybody at any medical facility and indicate that the investigation was being treated as a suspicious, in quotation marks, because the victim appeared to have been struck in the face by a cocktail glass?
Objection.
Allow that. Did you ever say that?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I did say that to the medical examiner's operations desk.
Okay, so when I was asking you if you ever said it to Good Sam, and you said, no, that's not true, that's never happened, you were correcting me on the fact that it happened at the medical examiner's office, not at Good Sam.
I responded and answered your question honestly, yes.
Okay, so honestly, you did, in fact, at 10:41 a.m. indicate to another professional involved in the investigation that the circumstance was being treated as a physical assault at that point, correct?
I communicated our suspicions to the medical examiner's office.
And that was at 10:41 or thereabouts in the morning, correct?
That's correct.
Your initial investigation during those obviously critical hours, the beginning hours, led you to believe that there was at least a good possibility, you indicated that you made a phone call, that it was a physical altercation that led to John O'Keefe's death, correct?
That's correct, yes.
What steps did you take, sir, in those moments, to determine whether someone in the house at 34 Fairview may have been involved in that physical altercation that you suspected at the time?
As investigations develop, we followed the evidence and statements made. The steps I took was Trooper Proctor and I proceeded to an eyewitness who was also present at the scene when the victim was discovered and interviewed Ms. McCabe.
And prior to interviewing Ms. McCabe, by the way, that was at Ms. McCabe's home, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Even though you believe that there may have been a physical altercation, you didn't ask anybody to come down to the station. Is that right? Any of the witnesses?
That's correct.
And you did not seek to actually go to the physical location of 34 Fairview in those next few hours,
That's correct.
or the next few days, correct?
Not myself, no.
As a matter of fact, Trooper Proctor did not either, did
No, he did not.
he? You didn't secure the interior of the house as a potential crime scene. You certainly know how to do that, right?
That's a cop-out question. Do you want me to answer whether I did it or whether I know how to do it?
Well, I'll ask the question. If you can answer it, please answer it.
Okay.
Can you answer that question?
I can answer that question.
Why don't you answer both of them then?
The first portion is we did not secure the home as a crime scene. And the second portion, yes, I do know how to do that.
And you didn't, as a Massachusetts State Police official, you didn't secure the outside as a crime scene either, did you?
I did not know.
To your knowledge, nobody else from Massachusetts State Police ever did either, did they?
Yes, they did.
How was that done and when?
When members of our office and the CERT team responded to that location and secured the front yard grass area and processed it.
That
But
was
not
at
the house.
5:45,
And that
6
was
o'clock
at
that night,
6 o'clock.
on the 29th?
I believe it was earlier, but I was not present, so I can't testify to the time.
So you don't know personally what they did to quote unquote secure or not secure the crime scene. You know they searched it, but in terms of securing as a crime scene, you don't have personal knowledge to that.
I was not present.
You never took any photos of the interior of the house, correct?
I did not know.
You never caused CSSS to go inside the house and process that house as a potential crime scene, correct?
I did not know.
No forensic criminalist at your direction ever went into 34 Fairview.
No, they did not.
And the people that you interviewed on January 29th, you already mentioned Ms. McCabe. The other people were her husband, Matt McCabe, correct?
That's correct.
And her brother-in-law, Brian Albert. Is that right?
That is correct.
And all three of them were interviewed where?
They were interviewed at the McCabe residence.
Now, yesterday when you testified, did you indicate that Brian Albert was not present in the home when you interviewed Matt McCabe and Jennifer McCabe?
They were not. He was not present in the dining room when we were interviewing each individual separately.
So if all three of them testified that he arrived before you arrived, they would all be wrong.
I did not see him in the home when we arrived. No.
I want to switch gears real quick to a couple of the physical items that you testified about yesterday, specifically the gray shirt or the gray hoodie and the orange shirt. You and Trooper Proctor collected both of those items you indicated from the floor of the hospital at Good Samaritan, correct?
That's correct.
You testified that you and Trooper Proctor immediately bagged both of those items. They were sort of sopping wet, I think you said.
That's correct.
You indicated that the bags were so wet that you had to take the items back out of the bags and then lay them out on, I think you said, butcher paper. Is that right?
The items were soaked and wet. They were bagged, double bagged, to prevent leakage of physiological fluids and the moisture coming off of it. And then once they were transported to the office, they were laid out on butcher paper in order to dry naturally.
So you went from Good Samaritan directly to Dighton, correct?
That is correct.
And then you went from Dighton directly to the Canton Police Department,
Kiddo,
after
do
which
you
you
have
had
an
seized
extra
the vehicle,
drink?
correct? And the phone.
I'm gonna
We
get
seized the phone in the vehicle in Dighton and then followed the tow truck straight to the Canton Police Department.
So at some point, if you had received or gathered the wet clothing at Good Sam, went from Good Sam to Dighton Canton PD, at what point that evening did you finally get those items of clothing out and laid out to dry?
It was late
Or did
that
you
night,
hurry up and drink
around
one
10 or so.
that you
So where were the
only
items
have
in the
two
meantime?
left?
They were stored in the back passenger compartment of my pickup truck.
In those double bags.
Correct.
Who took control of the items to
You
then
don't
lay them
wanna
out,
give it
like
back.
that night at the office?
I do not recall.
Is that you or Trooper Proctor?
I don't recall. I don't remember.
At some point, obviously, it's getting late. You've been on duty for a long time that day. You went home at some point, correct?
At some point, yes.
Did you wait for those clothes to dry before you went home, or did you leave that in?
Now you don't recall?
No, once they were laid out in the processing area in the office, we went home.
Okay. Who would have controlled those items of
Right.
evidence when you left?
They're under lock and key within the secure area of the district attorney's office, so they're
So
secure.
anybody
Nobody's
in
in
the
physical control watching
district
guard over them.
Who had access to that area?
Troopers in our office.
Meaning you, obviously.
Yes.
Supervisor. Trooper Proctor as well, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Ultimately, given the fact that he was the case officer, sort of in charge, the lead, he would have bagged those items up, been responsible for taking those items, tagging them, getting them stored wherever they need to be stored and processed, correct?
As a case officer, he could direct other people to perform those tasks for him. The evidence officers in the office log in the evidence, and once it was dried, it was sealed up, bagged, and put into storage. As far as who actually performed those tasks, I do not know.
Well, yesterday, Your Honor, may I approach the courts, right? There's a couple minutes.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Let's see how long you did your-
This is not a vision contest. I'll bring these up to you in just a second, but just for familiarity's sake, do you recognize these two bags as bags that you brought to court with you yesterday?
They look familiar, yes.
Okay. This one has a 437 on it on my right. The one on my left has 438 on it. May I approach briefly?
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you to open those. Don't worry about flooding up at this point. The bag on your left, which one is that? 437 or 438?
The bag on my left is 437.
437. Okay. And you indicated that those items were bagged after the clothing was dried and then ultimately processed in, logged in, correct?
Once the items dried, they were bagged and logged in, waiting processing, yes.
But you didn't personally do that.
No, I did not, no.
Matter of fact, looking at the bag on your right, what's been marked as exhibit 430, how many? 438, thank you. That one has some writing on it, correct?
Yes, it has a lot of handwriting on it, yes.
And that, whose handwriting is that?
I don't know.
You've seen Trooper Proctor's handwriting 1,000 times, I guess, correct?
Not 1,000 times, but
Does it look like his writing?
it says Trooper Proctor on it, but other than that, I do not know what Trooper Proctor's handwriting looks like.
All right. It indicates that Trooper Proctor is the one that bagged that item, those items up, correct?
Yes, this bag indicates that the item was collected by Trooper Proctor on 129
Right.
at 10.
And it says Brockton, correct?
Good Samaritan Hospital in Brockton, yes.
That was, you just took the question out of my mouth. That's where Good Samaritan Hospital is, correct?
That's correct.
And there's a tag or a printed label, looks like a label maker of some sort, that is on that physical bag, correct?
Yes.
Before we get to that, what's the description on that bag in handwriting?
I'm sorry, can you be specific as to description of what or
Where it says description of items.
description of enclosed evidence?
Correct.
It says 1 orange t-shirt, 1 gray long sleeve shirt.
Okay. So may I approach on it?
Yes.
Before I do that, just so I close this loop, what's the description on the bag to your left, the one that looks like it's less sprinkled?
Number 437.
Yes, if you would read the same clothing description.
The description of enclosed evidence states sweatshirt with recovered items inside container.
Okay, may I approach now?
Yes.
Thank you. Yesterday when you opened, keep my voice up. Yesterday when you opened these two bags, this one, 437, has the gray sweatshirt in it. 438 has the orange t-shirt in it now, correct?
That's what was in the bag, yes.
All right. However, the bag indicates at one point, this bag, 438, the physical bag I'm holding in my left hand, had both the sweatshirt and the t-shirt together, correct?
That's what the description is. I do not know if that was in case or in fact the case.
The reason you don't know is because you're not the one that bagged Trooper Proctor did, correct?
The reason I don't know is I wasn't present during the separation of those items, and I did not observe it taking place, nor was I made aware of how the items were separated or when.
You are aware, however, that tag that's on the label maker,
Hey,
tag that's on that bag indicates that indicates a date of February 4th, correct?
You'd have to bring that back up.
I'm sorry.
I didn't take note of that.
My fault. May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
You keep
Correct.
getting caught in your lies. You keep
The label maker tag
in
does have the
lies.
date February 4th, 2022 on bag number exhibit 438.
May I approach?
Yes.
Sorry. That's obviously 6 days after the item was actually recovered on the 29th, correct?
Yes, it is.
So that indicates, at least based on that tag, that item was not booked into evidence and processed until 6 days after it was actually recovered on the floor at Good Samaritan Hospital. Is that right?
The date indicates February 4th, 2022.
Right. And that date would be indicative, in your experience, of the date that is moved into processing by some other folks, the evidence sergeants or whomever, or the evidence officers rather, or whomever, correct?
I can't speak to their procedures as far as when they print the date. That date could be when they printed the label, but the bag might have been tagged otherwise. I do not know that.
But there's no other tag on that bag that suggests it's an earlier date, correct?
There's just that one tag from the label maker.
My question to you, if you know, sir, and you may not know, is what was happening to these items between January 29th, after you lost sight of them that night on the butcher paper, and February 4th, when that tag indicates that they were first processed?
To the best of my knowledge, those items were drying on the butcher paper.
For 6 days?
If that's what the label maker says, yes, for 6 days. They were soaking wet.
And those would have been certainly accessible to and in the possession of the lead case officer in the case, is Trooper Proctor, right?
Yes, if Trooper Proctor needed to review those items, he would have access to those items. Absolutely.
And you're also aware that the first actual log of any chain of custody for those items is March 14th, when they were finally submitted 6 weeks later to the crime lab.
That is not true. The first actual log of those items is when we collected them from the hospital.
Where's the log? I'm talking about the physical log, like sign in, sign out log. Where's the log?
It's documented in the reports saying that we collected them.
I know that there's a report.
That's not a
Anyway,
log,
report, right?
sir.
I can
You
write
need
report,
a
but you
chain of
I'm asking
custody
for a log.
log.
Objection.
So the objection sustained.
How?
Obviously, when items move in and out of people's custody in an official capacity for the Massachusetts State Police, there's a log of that, correct?
It's documented. Yes,
Or at least it should be, correct?
it's documented.
Where's the log of these items before March 14th?
It's documented in the report.
There is no log, is there, Sergeant?
I do not know.
I want to talk a little bit about some searches that Mr. Lally asked you about, February 4th and February 10th, very specifically. Both of those searches you were involved with out at 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
But Sergeant, you didn't personally write a report about your conduct at 34 Fairview on either of those 2 days. In other words, you didn't go back to the station and generate a report yourself.
I don't recall doing that now.
There were no photos that you took of the items at the location.
I did.
Poster photos, correct?
I did not take photos of the items.
Okay. And the first report that indicates anything that happened or was recovered at the location on either February 4th or February 10th, that was first notated in a report dated November 4th, 2023, year and a half, year and several months later, correct?
If you say so, I do not know the exact date. That report would have to be presented to me.
May I approach?
Yes.
You don't have to read the whole thing, but if you can skip through the part that talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you finished already. What's the date of that? Well, let me ask a foundational question. Does that refresh your recollection as to the date of the report that actually talks about the February 4th and February 10th searches?
It does.
And what's the date of that report, sir?
This report is dated November 4th, 2023.
Thank you. May I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, as it relates to those 2 searches, I'd like to ask you a little bit about the February 4th search first. You indicated that you actually responded to 34 Fairview personally, correct?
I was responding to that location on my own. I personally responded, yes.
Okay. That was because you had received information that Chief Berkowitz had seen something or found something. Is that right? Chief Berkowitz from Canton PD.
That is not correct, no.
Okay. So when you got there, was Chief Berkowitz there?
Yes, he was.
You just happened to go by 34 Fairview at the exact same time on the exact same date as Chief Berkowitz, or was that coordinated in some way?
There was no coordination between me and Chief Berkowitz. As I testified, I had directed the troopers to go by the location. I planned to go by the location in the morning on the way to the office and in the afternoon on the way home, just to see if any more items would reveal themselves. So that morning, I was actually traveling to that location in order to conduct a view of the area to see if any more evidence had been revealed. Prior to my arrival, approximately while I was on Chapman Street, I received a call indicating that Chief Berkowitz was at the location, yes.
And was there also an Officer Lank, Sergeant Lank?
I do not know if Sergeant Lank was there, no.
Okay. Chief Berkowitz certainly was there.
Yes,
And Chief Berkowitz indicated that as he was driving by, he saw a piece of glass
yes.
and stopped his car and then started making phone calls.
I believe that's what he indicated to the caller, yes.
Did you question Chief Berkowitz about why he was driving by the location in the first place?
Absolutely not.
Okay. You knew at that point that the Canton Police Department had been recused because of conduct, at least an appearance or potential for conflict of interest, correct?
I knew they recused themselves due to only in respect to interviews. They didn't want to conduct interviews with us side by side.
I mean, if there's conflict of interest, Sergeant, for department, conducting the interviews is just one aspect of an investigation, correct?
I'm not going to speak to a conflict of interest, but yes, conducting an interview is just one aspect of the investigation, yes.
So is it your testimony that your understanding was they couldn't conduct interviews, but they could collect evidence, store evidence, write search warrants, get returns on search warrants, execute search warrants, conduct searches? They could do all that and not conduct interviews?
My understanding was they were recusing themselves from conducting interviews. They still allowed us to use their facilities. We utilized their conference room to conduct interviews. There was evidence being stored at their Sally Port, being the vehicle. So that was my understanding.
Isn't it true that you knew that the entirety of the Canton Police Department had recused itself because of a familiarity between one of their members, Kenneth Albert, and the Albert family, on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found? That was the conflict, correct?
I knew that was the connection between them, yes.
And you understood, sir, that that agency was to have nothing, from an investigative standpoint, nothing to do with this investigation, correct?
They were not conducting the investigation, no.
Matter of fact, Trooper Proctor and you supervising him, y'all were conducting the investigation, right?
Our office was conducting the investigation.
So did you find it unusual or suspicious in any way that the chief of police for the conflicted Canton PD was the person driving by 34 Fairview looking for evidence?
Objection.
Can you answer that question, Sergeant?
He would have to repeat it. There's just so much I can't.
It was a little worried. I'll try again. Did you find that suspicious?
Which part? You have to repeat the whole thing.
That Chief Berkowitz from the conflicted Canton PD was at 34 Fairview looking for evidence.
The way you posed the question, I did not find it suspicious at all. He's the chief of the police in the town where he works, and he's driving down the street. I mean, that's not suspicious.
With a conflict of interest on the very case that he's driving by.
Objection.
Sustained.
You certainly knew, as a supervisor over the case officer, that any involvement by Canton Police Department, given the fact that there's a potential conflict, any involvement by them could compromise your otherwise clean investigation. You knew that, right?
Not necessarily, no.
Did Chief Berkowitz disclose to you that morning on February 4th that he had been communicating with Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, two witnesses, on your case that morning?
Objection.
Sustained.
If you knew information about communication between and among Canton PD and your witnesses, you would find that inappropriate, would you not?
Objection.
Sustained.
You returned to the scene on February 10th, is that right? To conduct another search, you said.
I was present on the 10th, yes.
Who dispatched you back to, or did anybody dispatch you back to that location on February 10th? How'd you end up there is a better way to ask it.
February 10th, just like previous days, we made plans to go to the location in the morning, in the afternoon, drive by. I was on my way to work and to home. So I traveled that route on purpose. And as evidence revealed itself due to the natural melting of the snow, we would stop and collect the visible evidence.
You believe at this point, sir, that whatever you might collect at the scene would obviously be important, correct?
Anything we collected that had evidentiary value or presented itself as somehow related to the crime or the incident would be collected.
And it would be important to the investigation, right? You treat it as important.
You treat it as important, yes.
So my question is, especially as it relates to the February 10th search, where there were multiple items found, did you seek to have CSSS come out and actually either mark with GPS coordinates or measure with cross coordinates exactly where each item of evidence was found?
We did not do that. We had collected so much evidence already, and so much has been documented at that point, that we did not contact crime scene services to come back out and photograph more shards of glass and plastic. We simply collected it for processing.
So the location of each one of those items was not of that great importance to you, at least at that time?
It was of great importance as to the fact that it was located in the vicinity where the victim, in the vicinity of other items located of the same characteristic, shape, size, and color.
So that's my question. Sorry. What does vicinity mean?
In the area.
Okay, what does area mean?
It's a location, specific location.
Okay, are we talking about, if we do this all day, I guess, are we talking about an area of 5 feet or an area of 50 feet?
Based on where the items were recovered, we're talking about an area approximately of 30 square feet between the roadway into the grass.
We saw photographs, Sergeant, of items that were butted up against a fire hydrant in one instance, correct? Yes?
That's correct, yes.
A drinking straw that's out in the road, correct?
That's correct.
Another shard of glass that's in the grass, closer to the flagpole, correct?
Correct.
A hat that's under the snow, adjacent to the left side of the flagpole, correct? I'm sorry, it wasn't. It was closer to the electrical box, wasn't it?
No, the pictures documented where the hat was. It was to the right of the flagpole.
So these shards of glass, the point I'm asking is, did you seek to use basic cross coordinates, measurements from something that you know is a known object, like for instance, I don't know, a flagpole or a fire hydrant, 27 inches to the north and a foot and a half to the south of those two known points? That would give you a cross coordinate, correct?
It would document the exact location, correct?
And you did not do that with any of these items, correct?
The items that were not photographed were not also GPS located, but they were within the same vicinity of where the other items were collected.
But again, now we're back to the same question. Your word for vicinity might be different than my word for vicinity, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
When you recover these items, or any other items, it's obviously important to memorialize on the evidence bag or in some other way exactly where they're found, who found them, the date, time, etc. Correct?
We do the best we can to document all known information on each evidence item bagged at the time.
And in terms of the February 10th search, I want to just ask you a couple of quick questions about that evidence bag. Did you bag the items into a single evidence bag that you found that day, or do you recall?
I would have to see the bag. If you have those available, I'll take a look. I can answer.
Of course, permission. Exhibit, I think it's 310 that was entered into evidence yesterday. I'd like to display that for us.
Okay.
You're looking at a photograph of what was previously entered into evidence as 310. Can you see that from where you're at? I don't have the evidence bag with me, so if you don't, I can certainly ask the space to enlarge it.
If you can enlarge it, please.
Just a portion of the right. Madam Mayor, approach.
Yes.
I didn't realize I've got a photograph of it.
Gotta look at shit when you're caught in a lie,
Please. Thank you.
and then you want to gaslight. Oh, I didn't write that. That's not my name. I didn't put my name on it.
Sergeant, have you been able to familiarize yourself with that evidence bag?
With the photograph, yes.
Okay, thank you. Taking a look at that evidence bag, it has the information on it, has your name is collected by, correct?
Correct.
The date of collection is February 10th, is that right?
That's what it says, yes.
Okay. And it indicates multiple pieces of red, black, and clear plastic, right? It actually says 6 pieces of red, black, and clear plastic, correct?
That's correct.
But that is not an evidence bag that was filled out by you. As
I did not fill that bag out, no.
a matter of fact, that's Trooper Proctor's handwriting,
I do not know what Trooper Proctor's handwriting is. I cannot confirm that that's his handwriting.
but it's not your handwriting.
It is not my handwriting, no.
So are you aware that this particular bag, that bag that contained those 6 items of plastic material that you already deemed was incredibly important to the investigation, was never going into any evidence until March 14th, that they could have submitted to the crime lab?
I was not aware of that, no.
Would you have a problem with
Take
it?
that down, please.
Probably
If I
not.
may approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
This is sad how you did an investigation on a police officer, you dumb fucks. Or any person, period.
Did you ever draft a report yourself documenting the recovery of those 6 items and the other 14 items that you said that you found on the same date, February 10th?
I did not know.
Did you leave that assuming that Trooper Proctor would document that?
If they say
Objection.
trust the
Sustained.
police.
That's a different-
I'll ask another one. Did you believe that you didn't need to write a report, Sergeant, because Trooper
Police
Proctor
are
would take care of
human
that?
too. They're not above the law.
I knew that it would be documented.
They're not
It was
above
already
us.
documented on the actual bag as far as who collected it, when, where, what it was, and a report eventually would be authored on it.
But the where, for all these very intricate pieces, the where is left to.
And where are the reports?
On that, correct? Is
Objection.
I'll allow it.
that right?
The general vicinity location of the other items collected and documented with photographs was consistent with the same locations this was collected.
You
I
know,
wanna shift
okay,
gears for just a second.
let me tell you something. You know, a car accident, you know, pieces don't just, stay in one place. You know that they go flying everywhere. They go flying everywhere. There should have been pieces, on the roadway, all sorts of shit, but you just left it right there, right in the general vicinity. That's why it screams, hey, I was put there rather than an accident happened, but whatever.
Well, actually, I want to ask one final question about that item. Based on the documentation that you just mentioned, that it's documented on the bag, and if the bag is presented to the crime lab on on March 14th, some 5 weeks later, those items were completely unaccounted for from a log standpoint for the entire time from when they were collected until they were booked at the crime lab, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. Ask it
Keep
differently.
possession of those items, of those 4, 5, 6 weeks.
Are you talking about the items that were just displayed on the screen?
I am, sir.
I did not.
Now I'd like to shift gears to a ring video that you saw yesterday. It's in Exhibit 6, video number 153. That may mean nothing to you. It's the 5:07 a.m. video of Ms. Reed's car pulling out of the One Meadows garage. Do you remember that video?
I do.
Okay. You indicated yesterday under questioning by Mr. Lally that Ms. Reed's car came in contact with or close to coming in contact with the other vehicle, the Traverse, in the video. Is that right?
Haha, this is good
The
too.
video,
Because it hits.
as I watched the video, I observed the vehicle come near Mr. O'Keefe's car.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about. With court permission, maybe play that video one more time. Jason, you can pull that up and then I'm gonna ask you to pause it and get out of the way. Okay? Okay, you just play that for a quick second, and then I'll ask you to pause it. Yeah. Pause. Does that appear to be, I'm just pausing it in the first 2 or 3 seconds, does that appear to be the video that you saw yesterday?
It appears that way, yes.
Okay. Mr. Bates, if you could enlarge the area around the left rear tire of the Traverse. I'm going to ask you, sir, if you'll pay close attention to what's been zoomed, and when the SUV gets close to it, I'm going to pause it and ask you another question. Can you go ahead and play this?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this.
So why don't we pause the screen, take it down, and I'll see you at sidebar.
Why? Why object to it? Why? Why object to it? I'm going to object to it because it shows that the vehicle did hit the other vehicle. And we can't have that because it's against. It should be about the truth. About the truth. Truth and justice. Not, oh, I got to win this case for the Commonwealth. No. Truth. Fucking bullshit, man. Fucking bullshit. Every evidence that they want to bring in that shows them That shows where she's innocent. They don't want to have. They don't want to do that. No, we can't do that. No way. No way, no how.
I'm going to try to situate myself going out of the way. If you can have the lights dim, Your Honor.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead and enlarge the rear area of the traverse. And I'm asking you to pay special attention to the back wheel and any movement that you may or may not see. Okay, pause it. Okay, in about the next 3 seconds, Sergeant, I'm asking you to pay special attention to the wheel. Go ahead.
Bam! Hits it. Hits it.
And you can take that down. Sergeant, were you able to see that video? I know it's not
On the morning of,
okay?
when
Yes,
she
I
went
did.
to go search for John O'Keefe, she ran into his motherfucking car. That's how she cracked her fucking goddamn taillight. Not against him. She didn't hit him. But you guys only want to look at her. Don't want to look at any other possibility. Because why? It may implicate one of your own. Well, you know what? One of your own was lying dead on a freaking side of their lawn. The DNA that they collected from you and Trooper Proctor, because there was DNA on his clothes that didn't match John O'Keefe. They only tested against you, but nobody else. Well, Karen isn't Mel. Karen's not fucking Mel. Fucking dummies.
Do you notice about the rear wheel of the Traverse?
Based on the motion in the shot with the snow falling, it appears that there is movement, but the video speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does speak for itself. It was hit. It was fucking hit. There was no magical taillight pieces like you guys did. They didn't sprinkle in a little action like you did. Like you guys did. You guys staged the whole fucking scene. Sickening. And you guys are officers? Huh. Please don't investigate my death. Please. If I die suspiciously, do not investigate my death. Please do not. Please. I hope I get some cops that actually, don't take their job too lightly and are, because, baby, this is some bullshit.
What would you assess
doing this
based on
again?
the movement of the rear wheel of the Traverse about whether or not the two vehicles came in contact with one another?
All these gaslighting sons of bitches. Oh my God. Oh, Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be fun. Tuesday is going to be fun, baby. Oh, let the games freaking begin. Let the games begin, because I bet you they're going to pull no stops. No stops to try anything and everything. They already have. They've got the judge on their side. Commonwealth does. She denied every fucking motion that the defense had, but she let every little flimsy little mother effer in on the Commonwealth side. But go ahead, try as you may, try as you might.
Objection.
Sustained.
Okay.
Objection, because we can't have you ask those
Just
kind
one
of
more,
questions. Dick. I mean, just like this video that they're going to bring up. I mean, they didn't get that video until the start of this trial. The start of this trial. And he plays it off as, oh, that's me getting out the driver's side. And then the next day he's like, oh, if you recall, I didn't say that. I said that, no, that's me in the gray hat. What? Wait, since when?
May I inquire?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm trying to use my time wisely, Your Honor. Yesterday, Sergeant, you were asked about a couple of videos related to the Sallyport garage. Do you have that in mind?
Yes.
Matter of fact, we watched one of them pretty specifically toward the end of the day yesterday. Did you actually, I want to talk about the one that is the clearer of the two, where you slip. You remember that one?
If you
Oh, where you slip? If yeah, caught up. Catch 22. What are you gonna fucking do? Lie some more? You're gonna lie some more. Here we go.
pull it up, I can.
I will in just a second.
Okay.
There was one where
Of course. If you want to pull it up, blah blah blah. There was one that was pretty fucking clear, and I wonder who all those people were in the Sallyport. You know, because one looked like totally, no lie. I hope that the defense really examined that video. I hope they did. Because you're in for it, bud.
Riley paused it and you were slipping in front of the vehicle.
I don't recall myself slipping, no, but it was icy that day. So if there's documentation of me slipping,
Fair enough. I didn't mean anything by that other than that was a moment that I thought you might recall to differentiate the videos. It's Exhibit 446, but I don't think that's going to help you.
See, I don't remember saying that it was me that slipped. He knows right now. He's like, oh, fuck. They realize that it's an inverted fucking video. Oh my God. He's like, oh, fuck. It's an inverted video. Yes, sir. It's a fucking inverted video that you produced. That you brought in. You, sir.
All right, let's see if I can do this another way. Did you actually personally go to Canton PD to retrieve any or all of the videos of the Sallyport? You yourself?
I did go to Canton and collect already extracted video, but it was a portion of video.
Okay, what's funny is when Canton recuses themselves, sir, you're supposed to extract the fucking video yourself. You are an investigator. You are supposed to extract the video yourself or be present while they're extracting it.
Video surveillance, I didn't collect all of the video, so
When was the most recent time that you went to Canton to collect a portion of the video?
I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Did you review well, let me ask it this way. Did you collect?
And what's crazy is like, she used to be a defense attorney. She leans heavier on, for the defense more than the prosecution. Until this case. It's like, what political ties do you have, lady? I mean, what are you gaining? You're not gaining the truth out of this. You're getting a whole bunch of gaslighting that shouldn't be allowed. A lot of motherfuckers lying that are in your DA's office. Yes, the DA that runs, helps the Commonwealth. It makes them look crazy. Don't investigate my death. If I ever die, please that I don't die of suspicious circumstances. However, if I ever do, I just want to know how they would feel if it was one of their family members that got treated this way. Oh, I would want to. Just how would you fucking feel? And what's sad is the gaslighting and shit because of all the political people that are involved in this. The fucking O'Keefes are going along with it. Suing Karen and everything. If she gets found not guilty, that's going to be a hard one. And they do have clothes on DNA like they have a lot to expose. Like, I just wish they had more money to like test or do like private investigator to go get, abandoned DNA collection, from garbage cans and stuff. And You know, go get DNA samples that way to test against John O'Keefe's clothes, because there's still two contributors that they only test these two dipshits, this one and the one at the end that's coming up. They only test those two. They don't test anybody else. They weren't there at 34 Fairview the night before, but because they're whatever.
Select the video that was sought.
And what's crazy is I don't know how the jury didn't pick up on this shit, because I was through with this case the minute I heard leaf blowers and red Solo cups. Like, you didn't give a shit about this fucking case. You didn't give a shit. Improvising would be going to a store and going and buying, you know, some plastic collection containers and alcohol them out or bleach them out, whichever. There's other ways you could have done stuff, but they didn't improvise worth a damn. Oh, we don't really give a fuck. Let's go get some red Solo cups from, you know, the retired fucking old chief of Canton. That's the neighbor of the Alberts. So, you know, he's going to be complicit. Confirmation bias all through this bitch.
On around about April 23rd, April 24th this year, in just a few weeks.
I pray she's
Did I
not.
collect it?
I
did not
pray.
collect that video of April.
I pray to God that people pay the fudge attention and don't let them gaslight you. Don't let them make you believe something that's not true. Don't let them say, "Hey, look at this photo and it's an inverted video," and then we're going to do an audit and say, "Oh, well, they have a mirrored camera." When in CCTV video for police, do they ever have a mirrored camera? Ever. Never. They never do. Never do. Why? Because they need to show the truth. Like, the truth. Don't put wool over our eyes and say, "Hey, there's cotton." No. They want us. They're like, "Don't believe your lying eyes. Your eyes are lying to you, so don't believe those." Really? And you smirk and then you laugh. And what's so funny about a dead officer or a dead person, period? What's so funny about a dead death investigation? Nothing. Nothing's funny. Especially, I mean, the only funny part is that you didn't do your fucking job that you were assigned to. All because you know the Alberts. Because, you know, you do run after Chris Albert. Anytime he calls up witness tampering, you're right there searching for fucking rubber duckies all throughout the damn city. Trying to get people hemmed up for witness intimidation. For rubber duckies? For rubber duckies. All they're doing is practicing free speech. But you don't like that. You don't like when people go against you. Well, you work for the people. The people pay your bills. And the people of Canton should be pissed the fuck off. But you got that select little, you know, circle of trust in there.
You know.
You're aware that the video that you saw yesterday was in fact collected after the trial started in April of 2024.
Objection.
Sustained.
Kevin, you're
Are
back.
you aware
Just
when that
in
video
time for
that we saw yesterday was collected?
Objection.
this video to come up.
I am not aware.
Okay.
Stop
Was
being a
yesterday the first time
bitch,
you'd seen that video?
Lolly. Let him
No.
do his
When did you see that video
questioning.
previously?
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay. What were the circumstances in which you saw that video?
Objection.
Sustained.
Oh my God.
The DA?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you ever have any kind of communication with Mr. Lally about your testimony?
Objection.
Sustained.
May we approach?
Yes.
Yeah, this is bullshit. Let him get it. It's relevant. You fucking crying bitch. Oh, you don't know what's wrong? Hey, well, when they say when they have FKR on them, they're against humanity. They are against humanity because one guy decided to put rubber duckies on a bench in front of one of the Albert's businesses, and because he's a slick boardman, they just come running for him, and he called out witness intimidation. What is so intimidating about a fucking rubber duck? What is so? The judge was like, "Get the fuck out of here." Case is dismissed. Judge was like, "Case is dismissed." Because I guarantee if Karen had any other judge, this case would have been dismissed without prejudice. Or without, yeah. Like you wouldn't be getting this case back in anywhere. And then the Massachusetts State Police would have to really do their job to find John O'Keefe's killer. Because had I been the John O'Keefe's family member, I would have demanded a more thorough investigation. Or I'd sue. I would fucking sue. Treat my family member like that. Hold you accountable. And that's what they should do. You want to know where they get the money from? From the city. They got way more money than her. Hell, she's fighting a freaking a murder rap. But you want her to fork over money to you guys too. Like you think she's rich? She spent all her money on this bogus ass case that you guys believe. And the mom started it by saying, "Oh, it's her fault for leaving John." John's a fucking adult. Should he have lost his life? Fuck no. But he's an adult. We as other adults can't control what another adult does. We'd like to think we can, but we can't.
You are unmuted.
Yes. Thank you. Sergeant, did you have any meetings or communications with Mr. Lally in anticipation of your testimony?
Yes.
When was that?
It was about 2 weeks ago, and then last week.
What was discussed?
Generally, we discussed the portions of the case that I would be presenting.
Did you write a report about your communications with Mr. Lally?
No, I did not.
Were you shown any of the videos that you've seen here in anticipation of your testimony?
Not during the first meeting. I did review a video during the second time.
Okay, and that video was that you did see the second time was the interior video of the Sally Port that we saw yesterday, correct?
I'm just trying to remember exactly what video I saw. I had reviewed videos outside of our meeting, so I don't remember exactly what video Mr. Lally showed me.
Yeah, see. How do you not recall something 2 weeks ago, but you remember something 2 years ago when Lally is asking you? But when the defense is asking you, you do all this, what? I'd have to see the info. I'd have to see this. I'd have to see that. Because you don't want to get caught up. And it's always, if I'm going to tell a lie, I believe. Every freaking witness, I believe. Never want to adopt your freaking saying. It's always, I believe. I mean, Higgins throwing out his cell phone. I believe if I would have thrown out my phone. Here we are. I believe if I watched that video. But now I don't recall. Nope. It was 2 weeks ago. I can remember something 2 years ago, but I can't remember anything 2 weeks ago. Out of here. I mean, you can even tell, like, you lying punk. He came in extra dressed because he knew he was full of shit. He's got to compensate for something. You lying sack of shit. You weren't wearing freaking cufflinks and everything yesterday when you were full of bullshit. But today you had to make sure you dressed it up, because you knew you were going to get caught in some bullshit. You knew that you were gaslighting and all that stuff, and you're telling the jury not to believe their lying eyes. Don't believe what they're showing you. Believe what I say. You're a smug piece of shit. I couldn't trust you. I would never trust you. You know Higgins. So Higgins probably said, hey, dude, I really need your help, bud. Just take these fucking extractions, because if you really knew what I was communicating to Brian Albert, the jig is up. We're trying to put this he was hit by a car theory together.
Seen the video that you saw yesterday, the sort of clear one that has the crime scene tape being put up and all that. You have seen that.
Bye.
Yes.
Nobody asked you to be here.
That is not correct, because I do not recall when I saw that video or what video I saw with Mr. Lau.
I see. All right. I'd like to talk about that exhibit 446 for a second, and then I'll show it to you. You indicated that the video that you.
And another funny thing is they look over to Lally, because you see where his desk is right up against the judges. So they just look over at him like, are you going to object to this? They do that too. See, he knows it's coming. He knows it's coming. He knows. Like, the defense ain't going to catch nothing. Normally, the defense is trying to poke holes here, there, and throwing spaghetti at the wall. But here, it's you guys that are throwing spaghetti at the wall. Oh, well, Miss Reed deleted the ring cam video when Miss Reed didn't have freaking John O'Keefe's login information. So how the hell did that happen? And then when you get shown the paper, it says that's all available to that they'll release it. Sir, you see, you're trying to be like the defense attorney, let's poke holes in something we can. Get down.
Everything that you saw yesterday was true and accurate, correct? Based on your memory of the events that were memorialized in the video?
The video captures events taking place in an accurate fashion, yes.
In an accurate fashion. All right, that's what I wanted to find out.
Yeah, a true, accurate fashion. Mirror is not accurate. Mirror is not accurate. But okay, here we go.
And after you watched the video, I think you were asked by Mr. Lally, does the video show you or Trooper Proctor having access to or messing with in any way that right rear tail light in any fashion? And you said never.
You said never. And never is a fucking lie.
I was asked if at any point Trooper Proctor and I had came into contact, I believe, or touched the vehicle, and that point.
No, you said, this is your words. As you can see, me and Trooper Proctor never came in, were never around that red rear tail light. That's what you said. Here you go. I believe.
Portion of the vehicle, and I said never. We never touched the vehicle prior to it being properly processed with a search warrant.
And that was specifically his question was to, and your answer was to the right rear portion of the vehicle, right? That right rear tail.
The right rear damaged taillight, correct.
With the court's permission, I'd like to play a portion of Exhibit 446.
Okay.
Here we go.
Before we begin playing it, Mr. Bates, if you wouldn't mind, may I inquire, Your Honor, of the Witness Display Foundation?
See, look at all the people.
This being the video that you saw yesterday.
Who's all these people?
It does look accurate.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page. This is 446, just so you have in mind if I reference that. So basically, play that.
Yeah, this is pretty accurate, huh? And then you got people like magically appearing and disappearing all throughout this motherfucker. It's crazy.
Do you recognize that as the video we saw yesterday?
Yes, I do.
There's somebody right there. There's Trooper. I think that's Trooper Proctor right there. That's Buchanan. Stop.
Very briefly, if you could move to.
Stop eating my stuff. Stay away from my stuff. Quit biting my damn freaking robe, jerk. You jerk. I don't know what your problem is, but stop licking and eating everything.
Yes.
All right, that shows the vehicle coming into the Sally Port, and we're looking at which side of the vehicle.
You're gonna
so that is the driver's side of the vehicle. What that video
knots,
depicts is a mirror collection. Although mirrors are accurate representation of what you're seeing, it's just inverted. So that is the driver's side of the vehicle. I do not know why it is inverted, but that's the way it was presented, collected and presented from Canton Police.
And you see a timestamp or a time and date stamp on the bottom of that.
I was trying to mute that. So, okay, a cold Pepsi, the way it is, let me tell you that because there's only one court reporter and she's doing every job there is in the fucking land, she's at marking evidence and all that great stuff. She doesn't have time to transcribe it at the end. So, yeah, them trying to get portions of the transcript, not happening. Not happening. It's just not happening at all. So they literally had to take notes. They literally had to write down what was said during times. So that's why he read back what he wrote down, because of that reason, which I think is BS. Like, let somebody else do the freaking numbering of evidence and let that woman do her job. That way, at the end of the day, she's not, she's not bogged down and can transcribe. But don't worry. They have all the transcripts from these proceedings transcribed. And they'll have them ready for this trial. They will. Yes. Oh, yes, they will. And they'll also see their inconsistencies. And they'll bring it up. Because he lied. He straight up lied. Okay. Anyways, there's a timestamp on the bottom you can't fucking read. They did that on purpose. Because, okay, wait.
I cannot know.
Does it appear that time and date stamp, if you can't read every letter on it, that is in correct order? In other words, that's not inverted.
I cannot read it, no.
All right, let's go and play this.
He is a douchebag. He spends all his time to fucking go after people that write stuff on the internet about certain witnesses and shit and threatens witness intimidation on them. Like, hello, have you heard of freedom of speech, douchebag? Or he's busy running around chasing after rubber duckies and shit. He's worthless. He's fucking worthless. I would not let him investigate another freaking big crime again. Oh, he should have been benched with Trooper Proctor, because after all, he is his sergeant. And same with Tully. They all should lose their job, because Tully is ahead of them, right? And then it goes down the list, him and then Proctor. All of you should have been bagged and tagged, toe tagged. See, this is the tow truck driver that he said yesterday was him. He said yesterday this was him getting out of the fucking tow truck, or out of the car. This was supposed to be the driver's side, mind you. And here, see this white light, and then, white right here, because, they had to, put a film over it so it looks that way. And then they had to, make the resolution all wonky, so it's all pixelated, and you see fucking ghost figures in and out of the... And this right here, I believe, is a reflector of somebody's clothes, somebody's jacket, because you'll see them step into frame here in a minute. And miraculously, it's ghostly.
Who's that just got out of the car?
What?
I do not know. I think that's the tow truck driver. He would have the only access to the vehicle. We did not touch the vehicle.
If you don't pay attention, you will miss it. But anyways.
Who's that on the left?
I missed it. I was looking down at the laser pointer. I do not know. I know for a fact I'm the gentleman that's wearing a...
Well, yesterday you said that was you because you were trying to portray that this was the driver's side of the freaking vehicle.
Dark olive drab state police baseball style hat, and Trooper Mike Proctor is wearing a winter hat.
All these weird ghostly creatures.
A winter hat.
That was playing, and I didn't realize it was playing while you were talking.
See, somebody's over at that tail light. Right here. Right here. But this was supposed to be Buchanan, the one that slid.
And stop. Yesterday, when you testified, you indicated that the two individuals in this scene were you and Trooper Proctor, correct?
That is not correct.
Yes,
there was two individuals in the rear of the vehicle. I shined my light to. That was me and Trooper Proctor.
Yes, he did. See, here we go.
I can't tell because of
no, I didn't.
The head
You're
is.
lying.
I just know that Trooper Proctor was wearing a black hat.
Which person in that in the video?
He was wearing a toboggan.
Wearing a black hat, correct?
I can't tell. I don't want to be locked into a statement where later on you show me that it's somebody else magically.
Oh, it's somebody else magically? No, what's magic is those taillight pieces that miraculously ended up there. But this was supposed to be at 5:30, and when and when Karen Read's car pulled into the Sally Port, it was 4:30 in the afternoon. A whole hour difference. A whole hour difference, and you guys blame it on, oh, well, it could have been because of daylight savings. No, stop it, because all cameras switch over. Don't do that. Please make it meticulous that their cameras are running all together 1 or 2 seconds off, because they need that for proof. Dummy. Like, you're implicating the whole police department. The reason why people don't trust anybody, any of you suckers, is because of this shit. With the miraculous people that somebody is over here fudging with that taillight, and I don't care, you can't tell me differently.
I can't testify to that.
No magic about this. It's your testimony. I'm just asking you what you see.
I don't.
Your testimony yesterday was this was you, that was Proctor, because you were trying to claim that this was her driver's side or passenger driver's side. No, this was the passenger side. My bad. My bad. You were getting out of the passenger side or whatever.
I don't see that, no.
And all these miraculously people, there's like 4 or 5 of you there.
Do you see the person toward the back of the vehicle walking toward the opposite side of the
Yep, I do.
I do.
What area does he appear to go into?
It appears to be
right
going
side.
towards the rear passenger side of the vehicle, although
They
it
tried
does
to
not
make
appear
this
so because the
look
video
like
is
it was
inverted,
the
a mirror
passenger
image.
side, not the
That's where he's
driver's
going.
side.
And Sergeant Buchnick, you testified for at least a half an hour about this video yesterday, correct?
I'm sorry, it was a long day. I don't know the timing of how long I testified.
You significantly testified about this video yesterday, did you not?
I testified about this video.
And you testified that it was true and accurate, correct?
Correct.
You testified that it was reflective of your observations of what was happening in that Sallyport that evening, correct?
I testified that this is a accurate
No, it's not.
scene and collection of video evidence from the Sallyport.
Okay, mirrored video is not accurate. Mirrored video is not accurate, sir. It's deceiving. It's deceiving. Actually inverted because, you know, when you're looking at a mirrored video, you know, your left side and your right side are on the same side. On an inverted video, your left side is on your right side and your right side is on your left side. That's an inverted video. We look at each other invertedly. To a mirror. But don't believe your lying eyes, right?
Truck sits in that Sallyport, just like this. It appears from all perspectives that what we're looking at is the passenger side of the car, and that right rear taillight is right there shining in our face, correct? From this perspective.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
From this perspective, from the perspective that the jurors are looking at,
okay.
From all indications, that would appear to be the right side of the truck, the passenger side of the truck, and that taillight that you can see is the right rear taillight from this perspective, correct?
The way it presents itself, yes.
And yesterday, during the entirety of your questioning by Mr. Lau, not once did you mention that this video is actually completely inverted.
I did not know.
Mr. Lau didn't ask you if it was inverted, correct?
You did not know? See, this is how you backtrack your shit. I didn't know. Clearly, you're trying to make something it's not. This is ridiculous.
That's correct.
If I hadn't gotten
Oh my God, stop switching, you jerk face.
up here because I'm questioning you, that would be left uncorrected, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
The person with the winter cap.
No, I don't
appears
have
to
a
walk
copy of
directly
the
to
transcript.
what ultimately should be the right rear taillight.
I'm just observant.
That's the vicinity, yes. That's where he is. Yeah.
Douchebag. There's the tow truck driver.
I'd like you to pay attention
But
to
you
the right
said it
rear
was
of the car. It's
you.
completely backward, but it's the far corner of the car. Do you see a person's head there?
It appears as if someone's still there.
I
That
do.
person is located at or near what portion of the car?
The right.
In real life or as it's depicted?
Oh my
Is the
God,
person
dude.
near in real life, near the right rear taillight of the car?
Yes.
Matter of fact, standing there hovering around it, correct?
We don't know the distance that they are in proximity to the actual vehicle. We just know that they're behind the vehicle.
Dude. He seems mighty
Objection.
fucking close.
Does that look like he's in close proximity to the right rear taillight?
Yes.
As I said, I can't tell how far away he is from the vehicle.
It's right there, sir. You can't tell that he's right next to the right rear
Don't
taillight?
believe your lying eyes,
Sustained.
everybody.
I
He's
want
got
you
it
to pay attention
covered.
to what that person does as soon as the other person comes out from behind that car. Do you see him move?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Do you see that person
What?
move?
There's a ghostly
I
figure.
saw movement in the frame, yes.
Right when the other person is in eyesight.
Ooh. magical person.
I mean, the video speaks for itself.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection sustained. No commenting, Mr. Jackson. We've talked about that.
But it's
Ask
hard,
the-
Judge.
back it up, because
It's
there's one
hard,
other
Judge, when he's
issue
full
I
of
want you to pay
shit.
attention to, if you can, right at this moment and right before this moment, and that is the timestamp. We back it up maybe 10 seconds. Right about there. Don't play yet. Instead of paying attention to the individuals, I'm going to ask you, can you see, may I approach the screen here?
Yes.
Can you see the timestamp at 5:37 and 37 seconds PM? Can you see that from where you're at?
No, I cannot.
Me neither. Glad to walk up to it. Let's play it for about 10 seconds.
Bye.
Pause it. Did you see another person just appear from the rear end of the car?
There was a fog of some sorts. It did appear as if a person was actually in. There was two people back there, and two people walked away, or one person walked away.
There's still a person right there.
To 5:38:01, correct?
I cannot see the timestamp, sir.
Did it appear that there was an anomaly? There was a portion of that video that was deleted.
There was
Dismiss
an
it.
anomaly.
Objection.
Can you tell that? Does it appear that way to you, Sergeant?
No, Your Honor, I cannot tell what is happening with the video.
He just don't. He can tell. He just don't want to tell.
If you take a close look at there's a classic police car in that sidewalk, correct?
There's an antique vehicle there. Yes, yes.
If you take a close look at the trunk of that vehicle, see the word police,
Yes, I believe I can read that. Yes,
and it's backward, correct?
How much?
it is mirrored. Correct.
We got
Good
a
indication that this is a mirror
dickhead.
video, right?
It appears that way. Yes.
Okay, I got enough. I
To
believe.
fast forward
Time to see.
at
I'm in the chat.
5:42,
But just pay close attention to this shit. This shit is wild. People move in and out of the damn frame, all ghostly like, and they're all crowded around the and
there you go. Can you just play at this point? No. You can pause it. Pause it. You see the Southport garage came down?
Yes,
You see the number on the garage? Is
I do.
that correct?
What is correct?
Does the number appear correct? Is that how you make it for?
No, the number's in the mirror image. Yes.
I just wanted to make the point. Everything in this video is completely backward, correct?
It's not backwards. It's mirrored, reversed. You can look yourself in the mirror in the morning. You still see your own face. It's not backwards.
But my mirror image is not an accurate depiction of who I am. Actual physical appearance is who I am, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
A mirror image, Sergeant, is not an accurate video of this, is it?
Objection.
It's a mirror image by definition.
Sustained. Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
I run, thank you. I would like to mark. I have a. We can bring the lights up.
Let's wait.
I have a thumb drive that I'd like to have marked with court permission.
Does Mr. Lally know what's on this thumb drive without you telling us?
I do not.
Okay.
We can approach it. I can certainly bring it up.
We're trying to wrap up our morning.
If
It's marked for identification.
I may, Your Honor, I'd like to play the first 10 seconds of that video.
No. We'll come to second. It's marked for identification, right, Mr. Jackson?
You are You are unmuted.
Panic when I have you come back on Monday. All right, so we'll just wait. Jurors, I know that you want to know when this case is going to end, and I don't mean that in any negative way. After speaking with the lawyers, I can safely say that you will get this case for your deliberations sometime the last week in June. We'll know better next week. We will not be in session next Tuesday. We will go full days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. We will not be in session next Tuesday. All right, I have to give you those cautions again. Please do not discuss this case with
Did you
anyone.
say by the end of
Doing
July?
independent research or investigation into this case. If you happen to
Or the
see,
end of
hear, or
June?
read anything about this case, please disregard it and let us know. It's a great weekend to see you.
All right, so the jury, please, jurors.
You are muted.
She's like, yeah, you got to get this case before so I can have a summer. Shit. I got to have a summer on the Cape, man.
Thank you.
You may be seated.
All right, so I received a motion from the Commonwealth this morning that I have not had an opportunity to read yet. It's on my desk. I'd like to go spend a few minutes looking at that and come back out at 12 o'clock on that.
In order for us to argue it?
Yes. Do you need?
I don't get it.
Okay. All right.
Could we do it on Monday?
I want to get as much evidence in as we can each day. We can do it at 8:30 Monday morning, I think. Madam Court, can we do it at 8:30? Yeah, Jim?
Sure. Absolutely fine with us. Not that it matters.
Can we do it at 8:30 Monday morning?
That's what the court wants, yes.
Yeah, we'll have a hearing on it at 8:30 Monday. Are you around tomorrow? Are you around tomorrow?
Oh, am I? Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to do it tomorrow morning?
If I had a preference, I would say Monday.
All right, we'll do Monday morning at 8:30.
I'm sorry.
Well, of course. the
Okay.
And
Commonwealth
if you
has
want to put
have
something in
the
writing, just email it to us this
preference.
weekend.
Will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you then.
All right, so court, please.
Anyways, okay, I was gonna do the rest of his testimony, but I forgot like he was on the stand for fucking 3 days. So they come back and it's fireworks from the beginning because the Commonwealth wants to say that, you know, they did evidence violation by not providing them evidence, but yet they've been doing it throughout this whole case. So, but because it's the defense, the judge wants to, you know, do her own thing. Bullshit. Anyway, so there is no Lori Vallow Day Bell trial tomorrow. So maybe I don't know. Maybe I might do like 22. I don't know if Sergeant Buchanan is on the stand after tomorrow or after the next day. But anyways, I appreciate everybody that came by, hit the like, share, subscribe, told me it was boring. I don't care. This is what I like to do. If you don't like it, you know, you can kick rocks, basically. Nobody asked you. But anyways, at the same time, I am on the road to 1K. So if you haven't, please hit the like. I greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate each and every one of you that come in every day because I need some sanity and I appreciate you. Kevin, you already know what it is. And as I end every stream, let the ones you love and care about know that you love and care about them because tomorrow is never promised. And watch your surroundings because you never know. This could be you. It could be any of us. They've been doing this far too long, and it's about time that they get held accountable. I'm tired of them having immunity and all this other stuff because they hold a badge. They're not above the law. They're not better than, less than any of us. And we all should be treated the same. No matter if we're poor, if we're rich, whatever. All investigations should be treated the same, even if it's one of our own on the other side that we're trying to protect. No, because the person that lost their life deserves real justice. This ain't real justice. This is a freaking railroading of all railroads. And yeah, but anyways, all right. Everybody stay blessed and bye.
Turn me up, AV.
Put your eyes on me, like the spotlight. Recognize me showing love, then got my grind right. Ain't never since day one the love been on side. And since you got my back, I got your back for life. Yeah, pretty honesty. Know just what it is, I got it on me. And you hold me down, you like my homie. Just know I got you down, just what it gon' be. Definition of business, definition of friendship, definition of rider, definition relentless. She's a strong woman, she's a sweet lady, she's a great mother, let your pain get achy. Yeah, I made that girl on YouTube, she never dims my light or put me in her dark mood. And I thank you, you appreciate it. You're my favorite girl on YouTube, and I can't fake it. You still got faith in me, make me feel like big. DJ Khaled voice, pretty hot thing. Who still got faith in me, make me feel like big. DJ Khaled voice, pretty hot thing. Yeah. Met Lil Shawty on this show called BDP, you know what I'm talking about? Shit. We been cool ever since, my nigga, you know what I'm talking about? Put your eyes on me, like the spotlight. Recognize me showing love, then got my grind right. Ain't never since day one the love been on side. And since you got my back, I got your back for life. Yeah, pretty honesty. Know just what it is, I got